Now it's Apple time. It's nice to talk about Apple in a positive way. I feel like every morning call for the past few weeks we talked about how Apple is heavy and out of play and unimpressive and just a weight on the market. And yesterday it showed its first signs of life in a while. And the first 2 days this week we got sell-offs of more than 3% in Apple. It was sort of left for dead. Bearishness has sort of reached a climactic level. And then yesterday, with an assist from technician Tom DeMark on Fast Money, the stock showed a little bit of life. It was up over 4%, I believe. What do you see from Apple going forward?
What's interesting is that yesterday, or the night before, everyone was, chatting about DeMark's call. Oh my goodness, we missed Apple. I wish he wouldn't have done the call and waited till we had that flush and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, listen, Apple has a lot to prove. You don't want to chase the up open, but if there's a setup there and there's commitment, you'll probably get an entry for cash flow. And then who knows if that's all it is. It has a lot to prove before changing its composure. And if you look at the chart of Apple, you will see that it's had a hell of a move to the downside. Go to that chart, and this was the start of it. Here was the Head and Shoulders top. Okay, here's when it broke below the 21-day. Here's when it broke major support, couldn't get back above it. Boom. Beeline to the downside, and then you had just a little red dog reversal that wound up being a nice trade, but that's all it was. Into resistance, came back too quickly. Another little 2-day move that people said, can this be different? It wasn't. Then you had this 1-day move again into the new year that opened up the second day, and it was a little faulty, and then that gap got filled. So the question is, here we are. This is 1 day. We took out the prior day high, which was good. We're actually in this gap, which is negating the power of this last gap, which is somewhat constructive. And here's the next resistance. Okay, the gap gets filled right here around 520. You also have the 21-day, which is right here at 521-ish, 522. So if you look at the move lower, every rally to the 21-day has been more of a short, except for this little overthrow, than a long. You had 2 overthrows, one right here, one right here. So the question is, can we take the 21-day back, hold above it, and then break this long-standing downtrend? So at this point, you don't know. I want to show you real quickly the 5-minute chart, actually the 3-minute chart from yesterday, to show you how you could have entered, because a lot of people, which I just want to address, were a little upset that we didn't have the time to talk. Actually, let's go just without the everyone through the what's it called, the trade yesterday, which wound up being a decent trade. This is when it opened up. It's not showing you the actual gap here, where it went sideways, okay? And then once it held for that 30-minute time frame right here, I know a lot of us, or some of us, got a little long, okay? You saw it. I didn't have it on my virtual trade floor, bought some around 495. If you listen to me on the radio, I was saying if we can get through 497, perhaps we're going to be able to add some in order to get additional cash flow for at least to 498.50, and then maybe 503. And then boom, went right through there, small little flag, and then went to 503, and then right there is when Apple went from green on the virtual trade floor to flat, or right around there. So that is the virtue of being on the virtual trading floor listening to the radio, whereas I had no time to tweet it in that half an hour because I also had 9, 10 other positions and we were doing a lot of other things. So anyway, with that said, this was your cash flow trade, and then it gave you another one as it held higher. And then from here, once it traded above 504, it wound up going to, the high of whatever it was, 509. So, I just like to sometimes in the long form version talk about time frame analysis. And some guys are swing traders, some guys come in flat every day. So with Apple yesterday, at least there were 2 different entries, and there were entries with a plan. As long as you have entries with a plan, that's fine. And today, we'll see if it could hold day 2, and then we'll see what kind of commitment comes from there.
I'm Evan Lazarus, Chief Knowledge Officer for T3Live.com. You don't become a great trader by watching videos and taking courses. You become a great trader through live screen time. Accelerate that learning curve by tapping into the experience of seasoned professionals. Currently, we're offering 5-day free trials to each of our 4 mentoring rooms. In the mentoring rooms, we teach our strategies in the context of the live market. To sign up for a free trial, go to the T3 Live education page, fill out the form, and get started when the next trading session begins. We hope to see you in one of our mentoring rooms.